Today, we're diving into a really critical topic, one that for so many parents and educators feels like a high-stakes puzzle: adolescent bipolar disorder. It's so often misunderstood, but getting the pieces right is absolutely vital. So let's jump in and start putting this puzzle together. This is the question, isn't it? It's the one that keeps people up at night. You see these intense mood swings, and you just have to wonder, is this just a teenager being a teenager? Or are we looking at something that really needs our attention? This is the core challenge we're going to unpack today. Okay, so the very first step to understanding what adolescent bipolar disorder is to get super clear on what it isn't. And believe me, it is notoriously easy to confuse with other conditions. So our first job here is to clear away some of that fog. Let's start with a big one: ADHD. With ADHD, you'll often see this more constant, chronic level of impulsivity and energy. It's kind of their baseline. But with bipolar disorder, we're on the lookout for something totally different. These distinct, days-long episodes where their behavior is a world away from their normal. And this is such a crucial distinction. Come on, all teenagers have mood swings, right? They can be happy one minute and then completely miserable the next. But those moods are usually like a passing cloud. They don't stick around. A bipolar episode is a different beast entirely. It involves severe changes in their ability to function. We're talking at school, with their friends, at home, and it lasts for a sustained period of time. So when you put it all together, you can really see how this gets so mixed up. You've got normal teenage moodiness, you have the impulsivity from ADHD, and you even have responses to trauma that can all look a bit like bipolar disorder on the surface. This overlap is exactly why a really careful, informed approach is just so essential. Now, this brings us to the most important concept of all. Seriously, if you take just one thing away from this, let it be this: there is one defining clue that separates bipolar disorder from pretty much everything else, and it all comes down to understanding the episode. So here it is, the DISCRETE episode. This isn't just a bad mood or a great day. We're talking about a distinct, noticeable shift from that person's baseline. Their friends, their family, they look at them and say, whoa, this is not their usual self. It's a clear, unmistakable change in their mood, their energy, and their behavior. And the duration? Well, it's everything. As you can see here, we are not talking about a mood that just lasts for a few hours. For diagnosis, this distinct period of elevated or irritable mood has to stick around for at least 3 to 4 days straight, and very often it'll go on for a week or even longer. That timeline is a critical marker. So what do you actually look for during one of these elevated episodes? Well, a decreased need for sleep is a classic sign, and I don't just mean staying up late. I mean feeling totally energized on only a few hours of sleep. You might also notice their thoughts seem to be racing, or they might start engaging in risky behaviors they normally wouldn't. And crucially, this elevated state is very often followed by a crash, a fall into a deep, depressive episode, which is the other side of the coin. Understanding all these signs isn't just some academic exercise. Getting the diagnosis right is the absolute key that unlocks the door to effective treatment and support. Without it, you're just guessing at the right plan. This simple little equation really says it all. If you misdiagnose the issue, you can end up with the wrong treatment, which can be ineffective or honestly even harmful. But an accurate diagnosis, that ensures that the help a young person receives is targeted, it's effective, and it's safe. It paves the way for a real recovery. And here's something really important to know: diagnostic practices have gotten so much better. Over the last decade, psychiatry has really moved toward a more precise, more conservative approach. They're focusing squarely on these distinct episodes we've been talking about, rather than on more general, chronic irritability. And that means a diagnosis today is more reliable than ever. Okay, so we've defined the problem, we've talked about the puzzle, so what does a path forward actually look like? Well, let's look at one example of a comprehensive support system, like the one available for families in Georgia, that starts with a really simple, accessible step. Here's a great example of a concrete first step. Services like MentalSpace School offer a free, family-friendly screener right on their website. A tool like this only takes a few minutes, and it's designed specifically to help surface a history of that mood cycling we've been talking about. It can be a no-cost, no-barrier way to start getting some clarity. And the results of this kind of targeted, integrated support, they can be profound. I mean, when you look at the outcomes from programs like MentalSpace School, you see these significant drops in anxiety and huge improvements in school attendance. This data shows that when we get the diagnosis and the support right,
It makes a real, measurable difference for students and their families. This kind of success often comes from a support system that's comprehensive and built directly into the school environment. I mean, imagine having same-day therapy access, crisis intervention, and family counseling all connected. A holistic model like this creates a complete safety net for students from kindergarten all the way through high school.
So, this all brings us back to our final question. It might seem like such a small thing, right? A quick 3-minute online check-in. But when you really think about the power of an accurate diagnosis and getting the right treatment, that small action could genuinely change the entire trajectory of a student's future. If you want to learn more, or if you think a screener could be a helpful first step for someone you know, you can find more information at mentalspacesschool.com. Thank you so much for taking the time to understand this really important topic with me today.